Peace, family. This is Marc Lamont Hill here, weighing in, checking in, I should say. A lot going on right now, and I wanted to check in particular about this new letter that Drake just signed. Drake just signed a letter, along with many other celebrities, calling for a ceasefire in Gaza, asking President Biden to support a ceasefire in Gaza. I mean, every organization in the world has called for a ceasefire in Gaza. It feels like the United Nations, UNICEF, the World Health Organization, Amnesty International. They've all said, look, this is a humanitarian crisis. People are dying. We absolutely need the bombs to stop. We need the rockets to stop. We need the gunfire to stop. We don't need a ground invasion of Gaza. We need people to do the right thing and stop. This isn't about, even at this point, choosing a political side. This is about saying we need to stop killing people. We need to stop people from dying. And so Drake signs the letter. Now, I am critical of Drake for lots of reasons. I have critiqued Drake for um, the way that he has dealt with the Megan Thee Stallion issue, effectively dropping a sub in a verse saying that Meg basically lied about being shot by Tory Lanez. All the evidence shows that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion, and for him to weigh in that way was kind of gross to me. Watching Drake do this most recent album and hearing the kind of blindside drive-by attacks on Esperanza Spalding, she won the Grammy, bro. Yeah, she won the Grammy, Best New Artist. You know what? She deserved it. You're a great artist, Drake. You're an amazing artist, Drake. You're a gifted artist, generational talent, one of the greatest hit makers this world has ever seen. But she was the best new artist. And to say that no one ever heard from her afterward is kind of not true. You know, she's won the best jazz award uh, multiple times. She is a star. Esperanza Spalding is dope. You know, there was the Rihanna sub. You know, again, it just felt unnecessary. It felt bitter. It felt angry. Didn't like it. But that's neither here nor there. Today, I'm not here to critique Drake. Today, I am here to say good job, Aubrey Graham. You did an excellent job by signing this letter. Some people are going to come out to you and say, well, you know, signing a letter isn't anything. You know, anybody can sign a letter. Not when you Drake. When you Drake, signing a letter is high stakes. When you Drake, they're going to scrutinize the letter. They're going to hyper analyze the letter. They're going to check every word to see if they can get you hemmed up in something, particularly when it's something controversial. When I say they, I mean media. I mean your fans. I mean the people who are as obsessed with hating you as other people are with loving you. All of them are going to say what is in this letter. Also, there are many people, particularly people who are strong advocates of Israel, who would say that we don't want a ceasefire, that a ceasefire is dangerous, that a ceasefire is irresponsible, that a ceasefire is bad for Israel. I mean, you have people like Rabbi Shmuley, a very famous, very popular, well-known rabbi in America, maybe one of the most, if not the most well-known rabbi in America. And Rabbi Shmuley is saying, how dare you, Drake, sign a ceasefire letter when there are still hostages? How dare you sign a ceasefire letter when Israel has not completed its goal? Now, he's saying that because Drake is Jewish. And he's saying, as a Jew, you should have more allegiance, Drake. That's why I'm saying this isn't a small thing. This isn't a low stakes choice. Drake made a decision to speak up and to speak out through the letter. Now, would I prefer that he do more? Absolutely. But it ain't nothing. Now, what could Drake do more? And then I'm gonna get to DJ Khaled, because I don't want y'all to think that I'm not gonna get at this DJ Khaled thing. Then there's the question, well, what more could he do? And I remember being on the Breakfast Club a few weeks ago, and DJ Envy asked me this question. He said, what do you think Drake and DJ Khaled should do? And I said they should speak up and speak out. And I actually had more smoke for Khaled because his people were the ones catching the hell at that moment. And I know he knows the issue. I didn't know if Drake knows about Gaza. I still don't know if Drake knows about Gaza. I think he just knows you don't go around killing people. You don't get into a situation where 8,000, let me check the numbers. I want to make sure I'm not giving y'all no, 8,000 Palestinians have been killed. 1,412 Israeli citizens have been killed since October 7th. The difference is almost all of the Israeli citizens were killed on October 7th. And what we've seen is a steady retaliation that has caused more and more Palestinian lives, including thousands of children. So this letter for the ceasefire is important. What I'd like to see Drake do in addition, though, is tweet something, put something on your Instagram, put something on your stories. I watched him go after Joe Budden on his stories. He broke Joe Budden's whole life down. Now, he was wrong about Joe Budden. Joe Budden is not a loser. Budden is not a failed musician. Joe Budden has mastered rap. He's an impeccable MC. Just because you don't sell him gajillion records don't mean you're not an impeccable MC. He's mastered his craft. And now he's moved on to something else. So I thought that was corny just because somebody criticized you, Drake. You don't go out uh, and try to make it seem as if the criticism is fraudulent or that the critic is fraudulent and therefore you don't have to wrestle with the criticism. No, take the criticism head on. Take the critique, own it. The album was mid. But instead he went after Budden. So if you can go after Budden, I'd like to think you could say stop the ceasefire. I'm not even asking you to get into a geopolitical analysis. I'm not asking you, Drake, to go and do something that you're not qualified to do. I'm not asking you to pretend that you are a political scientist. I'm saying, say it with your chest. Sign the letter is important. Again, not a low stakes move for somebody like Drake. But now let's take it to the next level. Go out there and say, I'd like to see a ceasefire. You know why? Because Drake has so much influence. Drake has so much power. When Drake puts out a single, it goes to number one. J. Cole called the Drake effect. And the song can be amazing or it could be all right. But it's going to get spins because Drake put it out. Similarly, if Drake makes a fashion decision, a hair decision, if he uses a certain kind of slang, it's going to spread among people who love Drake, and that's a lot of people. So I'm saying use that platform, Drake. I'm gonna get to DJ Khaled in a minute. Use that platform, Drake, to amplify this. I'm not asking you to take it any further. I'm not asking you to know more about the issue. I don't think our athletes and our artists, our popular artists, need to be the vanguard of our political struggles. But I do think that when you have a platform and you have a position, you should move on it. Now, if Drake said, look, I don't know anything about this, I don't understand it, I don't want to speak on it, I'd say, all right, well, I can't get mad at that, right? I would say you should learn about it the way you learned about basketball, the way you learned about, other things. But I get it. The one from BK said these rappers be shadowboxing fake enemies, unfortunately. That's right. A lot of these rappers will spend their energy fighting their ops, battling their ops, making battle raps against people who don't even know them or people who don't exist, when in fact there are real open enemies in the world, in your own neighborhood. I'm talking about poverty. I'm talking about drugs. I'm talking about guns that we say nothing about. So no, I'm gonna hold you accountable, Drake, for the choices that you make. Again, I applaud Drake today. I applaud you, Drake. Be very clear. I applaud you for making the statement that you just made by putting your name on that letter. Jennifer Lopez signed the letter. Other people signed the letter. So clearly a safe letter. This letter wasn't signed by people on the political margins, right? These are people who typically play nice and play fair. Drake, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Mark Ruffalo, Oscar Isaac, Dua Lipa, Michael Stipe. Michael obviously is a little more politically progressive and will speak out on issues. Then you got people like Killer Mike and Bella and Gigi Hadid, who of course are going to speak out because Bella and Gigi Hadid, shout out to them, are Palestinians who have been vocal and honest about everything. So this is important. This is important stuff. This is important stuff. But then there is DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled, I was also asked about. And I had no words other than to say I'm disappointed. I had no words other than to say I'm disappointed. DJ Khaled had an opportunity since the moment he entered the music industry to speak up and speak out for his people. And he hasn't. And I know a lot of Palestinian people who'll be like, yo, Khaled don't show up. Khaled don't speak out. Khaled don't even like to identify being Palestinian. Now, look, in a world that hates Arabs, in a world that hates brown people, in a world that hates Palestinians, I get why he might not feel comfortable frontlining that identity. I'm not even going to get mad at him for that. Again, I'm not Palestinian, ain't my business. But it is interesting now when your people are being bombed and killed, hospitals are being exploded. And it's not just in Gaza, it's in the West Bank. So, Cali, I don't care where you're from. Your people are catching hell right now. People in the West, the villages are being depopulated and destroyed right now in the West Bank. So you can't say, well, it's not my exact people. But as a Palestinian, I would think you'd want to speak up and say something right now about the fact that the US government, the Israeli government, together have done nothing to stop the bleeding, and in fact have intensified it. If that's what's going on, DJ Khaled, I can't imagine how or why you would feel okay saying nothing. And people say, well, he might be underground. He ain't underground. He's advertising products on his social media platforms. People know he's there. He's selling stuff, just like I was saying with Drake. Drake, you weren't quiet. You were getting in battles with Joe Budden. But Khaled, I'm holding you to even higher standard because as a Palestinian, I know you know this issue. I don't think that all Jewish Americans have to be connected to Israel. I don't think all Jewish Americans have to be Zionists. Certainly, I don't. All right? I don't think all Jewish Americans need to prioritize Israel. They can, right? And many do for obvious reasons. But I don't. I don't assume that Drake knows the issue. I want Drake to speak up now because he signed the letter, so I know he has a position on it. But Khaled, you're Palestinian. The whole reason your people are in America. The whole reason why you can't easily go home. If you live inside of 48, you wait in 3 hours. If you live inside of Israel, you wait in 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, sometimes 12 hours to get inside if your family happens to be Palestinian citizens of Israel. But I don't think that DJ Khaled's family are from Israel. Even now, in terms of their citizenship, I believe they're from the West Bank. And I'm going to tell you right now where they're from. I'm looking it up. Even I got to look stuff up sometime, y'all. Yeah, his parents are it's not exactly sure. It's not exactly clear where his family's from. With a quick look, but what I know for sure, DJ Khaled, is that your family's Palestinian. I know that, and if your family's Palestinian, Khaled, why would you not say something? Even just calling for the ceasefire would be something, DJ Khaled. Even just saying, I hope the Palestinian people are safe. Even the liberal bullshit, both sides thing of like, I hope all the innocent people are safe. I hope all the innocent people are okay. Would be better than what you're doing right now, bro. Right now, you're saying absolutely nothing. And this is what we mean when we talk about political cowardice. This is what we mean when we talk about political cowardice. And you might be like, well, Mark, why are you so invested in this? I'm not particularly invested in the Khaled part of it, but I'm invested in what it means for people who have platforms and who have a position, who have information, who know things, and remain silent as their people catch hell. You go to a rally right now, and you will see so many anti-DJ Khaled signs at Palestinian rallies held by Palestinians because they feel betrayed. That's what they're saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's what they're saying. The Jewish American community did not feel betrayed by Drake. It's not the same thing. But I still, again, hold Drake accountable. Not for the Israel question, but when we're getting shot in Ferguson, when we're getting shot in Minnesota, when MAGA is marching through the streets, when people are saying the Jews will not replace us in Charlottesville, and they're trying to stop the tearing down of Confederate statues, and they're walking around tiki torches. I want Drake to say something. I want DJ Khaled to say something. I want all the big stars to say something. Again, I'm not asking them to be political leaders, but say something when your people are being hunted, when your people are being killed, when your people are being exploited, when your people are being marginalized. You got to do something, bro. Look, I ain't gonna beat a dead horse here, but look, it is necessary to speak up and speak out. So I'm glad once again that Drake, you did that. I hope this is the beginning of a long career of speaking up and speaking out. People grow into their activism sometime. I can live with that. And if this is a one-off, at least you picked an important issue to have it be a one-off on. There are other important issues in our community I need you to be a one-off on. Sudan, Congo, Detroit, Chicago, Philly, Haiti. I'd love to have you have a voice in all that stuff. But DJ Khaled, you still missing in action. People still looking for you. People still want to tweet. People still want a Instagram post. People still want a video. They want to see a flag. They want to see something to show that you have a position there. Again, you ain't got to have a radical politics. You ain't got to have a fully extrapolated thesis. All I want you to do is acknowledge that Palestinians, your people, are catching hell right now, and do something about it. Say something about it, y'all. All right, peace.